Me, Myself and Bipolar Brenda. That's me. It's me telling my story, a single mother, trying to live the best life I can, with bipolar disorder, anxiety disorder, and all the other labels that they've given me.
It's so hard for anybody to tell you that it's going to be okay. But I always think about that John Lennon quote, you know, it'll be okay in the end, and if it's not okay, it's not the end. The world needs you. Even if you think it doesn't, the world needs you. There's something around the corner. There's someone you've not met yet. There's somebody from your past who needs you. You just don't know. You just don't know. So stick around, man. Stick around. So make sure that you speak out like Brenda. Take care.
My mama doesn't throw anything out. Each house I've cleared out's probably added to my OCD. She's had it hard with me saying, no, people don't understand. You've been like this since you were little. I feel sorry for her. The only child she ever had turned out to be all over the place. She drives me insane, my mum. Just sat in a chair, not really leaving the house. And it's hard because since the anxiety, I've struggled leaving the house so much also. I used to work in an office, so I'd be out every day, so a daily text messages wasn't so bad. This year has made me think I am really alone. It's just me, myself, bipolar Brenda, my old mum, my son, and my one-eyed pug. Mental health really doesn't give a fuck about who you put on or what your responsibilities are. It doesn't care. It'll let you fall fully to the floor if you let it and take everyone down around you at the same time. I am needed. I need to look after my mum and my son, and some days I can't even look after myself. And this is what terrifies me. How will I cope when the time comes and she's not here anymore? And also, how will that affect my bipolar? I think about this so much when I'm in a low. I am terrified of this. It consumes me like you wouldn't believe. I just don't know if I have that much strength left in me.
All shits and giggles. Till somebody giggles and shits. I had this idea to get all my journals together and share the bizarre, chaotic mindfucks and mixed emotions in me, myself, and bipolar Brenda. Ironic also that I decided to do this during one of the most difficult years of my life. A year in which I had more trips to A&E than I had nights out. When they start handing you an ECG card as soon as you get to an A&E reception, you know life is pretty fucked. Becoming a monthly thing, this. Me thinking I'm dying. Hitting 30 has not been all shits and giggles. Well, to be honest, it's been a hell of a lot of shits. Because the physical anxiety I've had this year doesn't care if you stood in Tesco's bread aisle and your stomach goes to literal shit. As you convince yourself you're either going to die or have a heart attack. Shitting yourself seems a less painful option, really. Just does absolutely nothing for your image, though. I do that a lot, you know. I make jokes about myself and my illness to try and cover up how I'm really feeling. i.e., scared, really. To bare my soul to you. To come across even more nuts than I already am. If I tell you I'm damaged, will you love me or leave me? That sort of thing. Oh, fucking hell, Tasha. You're not writing a love song. Ease up on the quotes. I mean, that copyright stuff's a fucking minefield. Anyway, back to shitting myself.
being depressed and having racing thoughts at the same time. It's like worrying about all that you have to do but having no energy to do it. Frantically wanting to understand something or get something done but having zero energy to do anything about it. It's horrendous for me. Because you become so drained and your energy is so low, you feel like you're never going to be able to achieve anything. But still, they run over and over in your mind. I feel exactly like that now as I write these words. Not getting out what I want onto the page, frustrating me and making my breathing heavy, my inhalations turn into anger as I battle inside. I could close my eyes and go to sleep right now. Just rest my head and sleep long and deep. I felt unstoppable last night. Unstoppable. If only I could control that feeling, bottle it, learn how to use it, I'd be like a superhero. Bipolar Brenda in a shiny light-filled cape. Her quest is to make people see bipolar as an actual superpower. I'd like that a lot. I like to think I'm funny. I've definitely always found comfort in looking for the funny side in this illness, that's for sure. I think you have to. Absolutely. Depression isn't fucking funny at all. Especially when you know how much you can achieve in 24 hours if you're not feeling like you want the world to open up and let you out. In all honesty, I write this now depressed. I've not much interest in anything at the minute, to be honest. The only thing getting me through is this writing of me, my innermost everything. I learned early on that you have to grab hold of anything that gives me a little bit of light, no matter how dark I feel. As I said before, even if you're the only person that ever reads this book, that's okay. Because this book has been my light. And I hope it shines on you.
Chapter 16. Don't try to stop them. Keep the bad habits and addictions, but keep doing Kundalini Yoga every day. Eventually, they will just fall away. Yogi Bhajan. I waited to type the journal up of my Ibiza trip to my Kundalini Yoga retreat I did alone in 2019 as one of the last things to sit and write. Because for me, throughout all the darkness this year, this was such a beautiful, special time for me, going back to Ibiza and to my little yurt. Ibiza warms my heart, fills my soul, and teaches me so much for my higher self. If I had a 10-year plan, it would be to live on that magical island. I've done 2 amazing 40-day meditations this year with my LA tribe. When I said on my 30th birthday I wanted to have more soul and less ego this year and do more Kundalini Yoga, I can safely say I really have. I have worked, and despite the darkness, appeared in a feature film and a BFI short film. I got myself back on a stage and did one of the best performances of my life. And I've met some of the most amazing people I now couldn't imagine my life without.
This year had been painful. I had to go back onto medication. I felt like I'd failed. I was weak. All the work I'd done was for nothing. And I was dependent now on anxiety tablets to even get me out the door, to get me to my safe place at the gym. I'm used to having an anxiety attack every now and then, although this year it was every day. Every day. I thought I was dying. I remember driving to football with Louis, getting this pain in my ear around April. I felt my chest go tight and I felt like I was going to be sick. I've had anxiety attacks before, but this was different. It was not just one part of my body, it was my eyes, my ears, my legs. Every part of me was out of control. I was too scared to move. I sat in the car, tapping my EFT bands, absolutely terrified. I needed to get home, but Louis was playing football. It was the longest hour of my life. I managed to walk into the hall. Felt like I was going to shit myself. Like I didn't have control over my body. And it didn't stop that day either. Continued for 3 weeks. Just before I was about to make Louis' dreams come true and travel to LA to stay with Reese. I was even wetting myself because I couldn't control my bladder or my bowels when the attacks hit. I am 30 years old. And I can't leave the house because I think I'm dying or soiling myself.
Hey, they call me Lucky. Lucky Louie. If it wasn't for Louis, my beautiful son, I can hand on heart tell you I wouldn't be sat here writing this now. My little boy has kept me going. He's kept me alive. I owe him my life. Should that be the responsibility of an 8-year-old? No. Do I live with guilt that he's had to grow up and witness his own mum go through episodes of bipolar all his life? Yes. Now, it's not enough to rob me of a normal existence, but for my own baby boy to have that snatched from him without his consent, that's how cruel this disease is. Louis's never known any different, and that hurts just as much. I feel ashamed even now, because of the anxiety attacks that come out of absolutely nowhere. I've been relying on him a lot more also. Sometimes I feel like I'm the child, he the parent. I know I need to nip this in the bud before it gets completely out of hand.
However, I did fall in love with a massive passion and saviour this year. Powerlifting. Yeah, powerlifting would become something I would eventually write about if I ever did write the book. I had bought a laptop, but spell check and grammar are just not my thing. And also, I mean, what would I actually really write about? Anyway, back to the powerlifting. Yeah, I didn't really mention it much last year, but I've kind of gotten a thing now for lifting heavy weights. Obviously, I've been weight training since 2014, but I mean, I wasn't doing it properly, and I really wanted to learn how to. I had heard about this trainer, Anthony. He was a powerlifter, and he had been at the Worlds in Miami. So I approached him one day in the gym as he was on his way to the toilet. Excuse me, are you the guy who teaches the deadlifting? Yeah, that's me. Well, can you teach me how to deadlift, please? My name's Tasha, by the way. He looked terrified. I mean, I don't know if that was me or if he was touching cloth, maybe. But he did really seem to want to get to the toilet, and I mean, he didn't know me by this point, so it couldn't have been wanting to run away from me. Yeah, add us on Facebook. Okay. What's your name? Anthony. Anthony what? Oh God, it's mad thinking of that moment, because sitting here now with everything I've achieved this year, it's pretty impressive. Especially with my antics. Powerlifting, it hasn't just made me feel physically strong, it's made us feel mentally strong as well. This bloke said to Ant, "She's strong for a little person." And he replied, "But she's become a different type of strong. She's mentally strong." I have overcome a lot of fears with it. I mean, I wouldn't even jump on one of the smaller boxes when I first got to the gym, and now I'm hurdling up the big buggers. Anthony, who trains us, he's been a lifesaver.